Tippy time my damies, Topcat here and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm testing out all our exotics, fragments and aspects that might buff our Monte Carlo, and in particular its new jabby stick feature that we got inside season 22. Firstly, I was really curious if this thing could break barrier shields. Sadly it did not. At 157,000 damage, this is roughly 15 times stronger than uncharged melee on minor enemies. On our big boys it deals 57,000. I was curious if the Ophids increased its lunge range. It didn't, but it does reach 7 meters. Karnsteins will heal on melee kills. Now so too does the Monte. The Winter's Guile ramp up in damage, this stacks up to 5. So the standard jabby is 157, then 244, 331, 418, and it maxes out at 591,000. This is for our red bars. Our weight watches goes from 57,000 to 215,000. Our necros make poison on slaps, charged and uncharged alike, so it's nice to see it working here with our bayonet. Now I had low hopes for the hunter, but I thought perhaps the sealed Ahankara graphs could have auto-loaded it perhaps. It's disappointing that it doesn't, such a cool looking exotic with no real purpose. The Liar's Handshake didn't work with the cross counter doing the standard 157, however Spark of Feedback worked to deliver 267,000. Dragon Shadow didn't do nothing, RDMs didn't do nothing, perhaps a Trident Vice? The bayonet is kinda like a glaive, right? Turns out it's not, 157,000 as standard. Void subclass have Echo of Exchange, so now the Monte can begin health recovery after each jabby kill. The Rending Fragment is something special. It took our Monte from 157 to 347. Offensive Bulwark is meant to buff our melees when we have an overshield. Sadly it's not the case here. Jesus, that would have been broken, right? The Feedback Fences store up melee charges to release a jolt. This I actually kind of like for our Arc, Solar and Strand Titans. The Synthos are going to be your first pick, right? This is the easiest buff around. It goes from 157 all the way up to 437,000. And against the Fat Boy it does 172k. So if we put the Synthos jabby stick together with our Stasis of Rending Fragment, it now hits at 591,000 and 215k. So Wormgod should surpass that, right? These do the same damage as the Winter Guile, ramping up 157, 244, 331, 418 and 591. But unfortunately with Rending it doesn't seem to go any higher, leading me to believe that Bungie have capped this. Severance didn't work but the Dune Marchers did, but I would recommend preloading it before you start running to get that charge, as you don't want to run up, load it, then hit. We've also got that new Banner of War aspect to increase our melee strength, taking that jab from 157 to 220. In summation, Synthos and Stasis is the best high damage buff to obtain. Into the Fray will be the easiest. Don't waste your time mucking around on the Hunter, and the Necrotics were the most enjoyable on the Warlock. Thumb it if you liked it, sub if you're new. Hopefully you found something here to your liking. All questions and suggestions are welcome down below, and until next time, tippy time my damies, what a time.